I am, that is to say, I was a great man. My name is Robert Jones. I was born somewhere in the city of Fum Fudge, and I have a nose. It didn't tell me breathe. Son, said my father, you've got a big one. And to that, I grasped my nose all throughout my childhood until the day I came of age. Son, said my father, what is the chief end of your existence? My father, it is the study of nosology. And can you tell me what, he inquired, is nosology? Sir, it is the science of noses. And what exactly is a nose? A nose, my father, has been variously defined by 1,000 different authors. It is now noon. We shall have time enough to get through all of them by midnight. In the US, when people find out I'm Korean, the first thing they say is, oh, like BTS. And all of a sudden, I'm expected to carry the weight of a global pop phenomenon. But in South Korea, it flips. With my long wavy hair and Y2K baggy jeans, they say, oh, you look like Timothée Chalamet, the artsy Hollywood star. But here's the thing. I fit into both boxes comfortably. Beyond how people see me, I've always explored passions that don't exactly fit into neat boxes. For my mom, I stitched 16th century Queen Elizabeth-inspired dresses reimagined through the bold vision of Alexander McQueen. I fence with the same precision I bring to the sewing needle. I paint acrylics on canvas, merging ideas on Korean cultural history and the modern style of art found in the United States, letting all of these ideas spill into every corner of my art. And most recently, I was offered an audition by a K-pop agency to be a trainee, another space where discipline and artistry intersect. So caught between these worlds, I asked myself, am I BTS, am I Chalamet, or am I something in between? What exactly am I? I mean, even my school feels like an intersection. I go to an international school in Seoul, but the teachers are American. The varsity jackets look exactly the same as in US high schools, but they're worn in Seoul. And some days, it feels like I'm in LA, where I was born and raised. But here's the twist. We're not allowed to speak in Korean. So every day, I live in Seoul, but I speak in English. And then after school, I go back to speaking in Korean. And that left me asking the same question. Am I in Korea or am I in America? Am I Korean or am I an American? Or am I both? I always performed in some kind of way. At school, I would say, yo, what's up? But at home, I would say, 안녕하세요. It was exhausting. It was like wearing two different masks at the same time. But then I discovered something that really changed the way I saw my identity. I fell in love with acting. And the first time this happened was when I was younger, watching my older cousin try to impress his older girlfriend. I copied everything he did, his voice, his face, his attitude, even him drinking alcohol to impress his girlfriend. I was clearly overdoing it. My cousin, he was mortified. My heart raced. Ironically, his friend said, kid, you're really special. You should be an actor. And that moment really stuck with me because it felt like I had the infinite will in determining who I could possibly be. As Oscar Wilde once said, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. And here's something that I learned that I want all of you to think about. All these different activities, talents, habits, languages, expressions, you combine all of them, and that's what shapes you. It's not just one single factor. And it was then that I discovered a reason why they called me Timothée Chalamet here in Jungkook in America. You know, when I joined the International Thespian Society, I discovered something. And that was how every single person in the room had a color to them. And this color wasn't just shaped by character. It was shaped by a blur of hundreds of unique experiences. And when everyone came together, the directors, the stage crew, the tech crew, the actors, everyone, when they all came together, theater became something much more greater than it already was. It was as if theater itself had become a person. And theater became a living space where identities met, mixed, and created something new. I also want to speak for all the students in international schools. I know it's difficult. We switch between languages and cultures every single day, and it may feel isolating. But guess what? It gives you this rare strength that differentiates you from every single person. You know, the idea of switching roles really took me everywhere. As a Korean American, I discovered that I finally had the courage to take initiative in shaping who I am. You know, there were no restrictions, and I no longer felt confused. And in the end, some people said, oh, you know, theater, acting, sports, it's all the same. But what theater really taught me is creativity and expression. What sports really taught me is endurance, discipline, drive. It both shaped me. The most important thing is I realized I didn't have to choose between being an actor and an athlete. I could be both. And both identities really shaped me into who I am today. And the truth is, we all live between these intersections. Maybe you're a musician and a mathematician. Maybe you're a parent and a professional. Truth is, you may not know how valuable these intersections actually are. People will try to label you. For me, it was Timothée here and BTS in the States. But the real strength comes from embracing these overlaps, these contradictions, these in-betweens, and being confident in who you are. Or maybe I'm just me, as someone living between these intersections and finding a voice that can exist nowhere else. And maybe, just maybe, that's you. Thank you.